Welcome to the Eric T conversation. I'm Eric T. Well, I have a funny observation, and maybe this is just me. Maybe I'm just weird like that. But I started pondering. We had Thanksgiving last month. Now we got Christmas coming up. And a lot of people eat turkeys for those two holidays. Some people eat chicken. Some people have ham. But I started thinking about it. Like, you know what? Imagine if chickens and turkeys could fly. What it would change the whole dynamic of these holidays and the foods that we eat. It would. Like you wouldn't be able to go to Subway and get turkey, sliced turkey or chicken. You know why? Because it'd be impossible to catch. Imagine looking up at the sky and seeing a row of chickens on a telephone wire or a flock of turkeys flying in formation like geese. Because we don't eat the ones that fly. Sure, we eat duck once in a while, but for the most part, we don't. We don't eat crows. We certainly don't eat buzzards. We don't eat parakeets. We don't eat certain birds that fly, but the ones that we do eat, they don't fly. Yeah, sure, chickens can like scurry around and hop a little bit, flap their wings, but they got wings and they're basically useless. Because imagine if these are only in the wild. Some turkeys are in the wild, but we raise a lot of them and we eat them. And God is like, you know what? We're going to give you these birds right here. They're good for nothing but to eat. That's it. They serve no other purpose but to feed you. They have great legs, wonderful breasts. You can pump them full of steroids to get all jacked on them. You can eat them at holiday festive times every year. And you can feed a family of 5, 6 if you want, 10 if you get a big fat one. So it's just strange to me that the only ones we eat are the ones that don't fly. Because it would probably be really difficult to catch those sons of bitches. Anyway, that's my observation for the holiday season. Now for the conversation. Now, if there was ever a reason for term limits, this is the story. Recently, we just found a GOP Congresswoman living in an adult care facility for the past 6 months. Now, she hasn't voted on anything. Kay Granger was recently discovered to be living in a $4,000 a month adult care facility. Granger is 81 years old and will be officially in Congress 30 years come January and hasn't voted in 6 months. After months of missing votes and calls to her office that were going unanswered and just going to the voicemail and nobody was returning the call, a local reporter, just a local guy named Carlos Turcios, finally decided to look into it. And what he found was like shocking. The office was completely empty. It looked like nobody had been there for months. And the care facility that she's been living in specializes in memory loss. Okay, and they discovered she had memory loss when she was walking around dazed and confused in her district. The Congresswoman still has about a month left to serve on her term, but she's been there 30 years, and no one's said anything about it. Like, the local news is the only one that figured it out, but nobody in Congress is worried about it. No big mainstream media was looking into this woman missing. For 6 months, she wasn't voting on anything. She wasn't voting on crucial bills. She wasn't voting on disaster relief bills. She wasn't voting on farm bills, any border issues. It's apparent her decline has been going on for several years now because of how bad things have gotten for her. This is just humiliating for her. It's a black eye for our country. Imagine other countries looking at us going, they had a congresswoman in an adult care facility for 6 months and nobody even knew about it. Okay? And she's not even the oldest member of Congress. I was today years old when I found this lady who was in Congress. This is Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro, serving in Congress in for the 3rd District in Connecticut. Okay? And guess how old she is? Yeah, 81. She's been serving in Congress since 1991. I graduated high school in 1991. And I'm just going to tell you, that was a very, very long time ago. This woman looks like she should be walking the halls of a high school as the defunct art teacher, still reminiscing about her time she got high and found free love during Woodstock. I mean, look at her. She makes John Fetterman look like a cool dude. Those glasses, man, purple hair. It's absurd. And right now she's talking about critical funding for female crash dummies so it will fight the gender inequality in vehicle safety and crash victims. Just listen.
Address the roadway safety crisis, including the critical funding that would accelerate the development, and this is an area I've written to you about, of the use of female dummies in crash testing. This will start to fight the gender inequity among vehicle safety and crash victims. This budget also builds upon and helps actualize.
And yes, she's absolutely 100% serious about this. And don't let me get started on all the fossils serving in the Senate. The majority age of the people in Congress are 70 years old, with a lot of them in their mid to late 80s. Okay. Term limits for these people needs to be one of the priorities of the incoming administration. You know, how can people be creating laws they will never be alive to have to live with? That's right. You know, I'm 52. These guys are 80 in their 80s, 85. They're going to make these laws. They'll be dead in 5, 10 years. They're not living with the big mistakes that they made. They'll be long gone whenever this stuff gets enacted. All right. Federal judges get to be the age of 70, and it's mandatory retirement. So this is my term limit recommendation. Congress, you get 3 terms because each term is 2 years. You get 6 terms. Senate, you get 2 terms because they're 4 terms each. That's 8. And then you're out. That's it. And I get it. You can say we just vote these people out. Not that easy. You want to know why? Because the people that are in office now have all the money. That's right. They have all the cash. They have all these CPACs, all these PACs that fund all their campaigns because all they do, by the time they get in there, is fund the reelection campaign. So if you're Joe Schmo, want to run against one of these guys, you don't have any money to do that. But now we do. We got Elon Musk, and he's got what you call FU money. So he's threatening each one of these people that are in office. If you don't start towing the line and start doing what the people sent you there to do, he's going to pay the primary people. And he's got the money to do it. And now they're all shaking in his shoes. They're shaking in their shoes because they know that he means business. So hopefully we can start getting some things done around here and Congress start waking up and realizing they're not in charge anymore. They're supposed to do what we asked them to do, period. And they're going to get primaried sooner than later. So anyway, that's my conversation of the day. Join me next time for a little chit chat, some observation, and some good old fashioned conversation. Look out for flying chickens.